Okay, so quick note before this video begins. I'm going to be using 3 types of amphibians for this video, those being frogs, toads, and salamanders, because I felt like talking about one amphibian would not work for this video, so we're going to be using 3 amphibians for this. Also, one of the amphibian species in this video, the American bullfrog, is basically found everywhere in the United States, and because of that, the western states that classify the American bullfrog as invasive or non-native will have a different frog species representing them, specifically a native frog species to the state. Finally, most of the amphibians will reappear throughout the video, so like the American bullfrog, so if they do resurface, less info will be made on them. Anyways, without further ado, let's begin. Alabama, the American bullfrog, the eastern hellbender, and the American toad. The American bullfrog is one of the largest frogs in the entire US, usually outcompeting other species in the area where they are not native. You will probably see this species throughout the video in most US states. The other large amphibian, the eastern hellbender, is one of the largest amphibians in the entire United States, growing to about 2 feet long. The American toad is another large amphibian of the state. However, they secrete a poison known as bufotoxin to help protect them from many predators like raccoons, snakes, and birds of prey. Alaska, Columbian spotted frog, northwestern salamander, and the western toad. The Columbia spotted frog is a large 4-inch long pond frog, also known as rana, found from southern Alaska all the way to Nevada and Utah. The northwestern salamander is also a large relative of the tiger salamander, found throughout the northwest of North America, from southern Alaska to Mendocino County in California. The western toad is a widespread species ranging from southeast Alaska to Baja California in the south and as far east as Colorado. They can grow to be 5 inches in length. Arizona, the Sonoran desert toad, the western tiger salamander, and the Chiricahua leopard frog. The Chiricahua leopard frog grows to about 5 inches in length and lives in the eastern portions of Arizona. They're usually eaten by larger frogs like the American bullfrog, which outcompetes them in their own range. The western tiger salamander can grow to between 6 and 8 inches in length, making them one of the largest terrestrial salamanders in the western United States. This size allows them to occasionally feed on prey such as smaller amphibians, small reptiles, and even mice. The Sonoran desert toad is the largest toad in the US, growing to about 7 inches long and weighing about 2 pounds, which also makes them the most hefty amphibian in the US. Arkansas, American bullfrog, Fowler's toad, and Ozark hellbender. I forgot to mention this, but the American bullfrog could grow to about 6 inches in length, with the largest ever recorded being around 8 inches long. The Fowler's toad is a large 3-inch long toad found throughout the southeast of the United States. Similarly to the American toad, they can secrete a bufotoxin that is used to evade the predators in their range. The Ozark hellbender is a subspecies of the eastern hellbender that is found in a small area of northeast Arkansas and can grow to 2 feet long. California, coastal giant salamander, California red-legged frog, and the Sonoran desert toad. The coastal giant salamander can grow to about 13.4 inches or a foot long, making them the largest terrestrial salamander in the US. They're also an inch larger than the California giant salamander, so that's why I didn't add that salamander to the list. The California red-legged frog can grow up to 5 inches long, making them the largest native frog in California. However, they are still dwarfed by the American bullfrog, which feeds on the young of this frog, which has led to the California red-legged frog becoming endangered in California. Strangely, the Sonoran desert toad is part of the genus Ankylosaurus, which includes Central American toads, including the extinct golden toad and even the cane toad. Hey guys, editor Christian here. So, yeah, I made a mistake on my part. I don't know where I got that information from, but cane toads are in fact not related to Sonoran desert toads. Sorry about the misinformation. The actual relatives of the Sonoran desert toad actually includes the species like the marble toad and the Gulf Coast toad, which I will talk about in a little bit too in this video. Again, sorry about that. Making it separate from other toad species in its range. Colorado, American bullfrog, western tiger salamander, and woodhouse toad. In Colorado, the American bullfrog is both native and invasive. It's native to eastern Colorado, but it's also invasive in western Colorado due to its introductions. Western tiger salamanders are part of the family Ambistodimidae, sorry if I didn't pronounce that right, which consists of salamanders that usually burrow underground, which gives them their common name, mole salamanders. The woodhouse toad can grow to about 5 inches long and is found in the areas as far east as Louisiana and as far west as Washington. Also, just to clarify, I didn't add the Sonoran desert toad for Colorado because it's only found in the Sonoran desert regions and it's not found farther north than Arizona. And also because for some reason I saw that for Colorado. So, yeah. Connecticut, American toad, mud puppy, and American bullfrog. The American toad is known to make a strange call during their mating season, which you probably have heard before. The mud puppy can grow to about 17 inches or about 1.4 feet long, making them the largest and longest salamander in the area, although an argument can be made that the eastern tiger salamander can be the largest in the state. The American bullfrog is large enough to eat creatures such as lizards, fish, mice, other frogs, and even snakes. Basically, if it fits in its mouth, the bullfrog is going to consume it. Delaware, American bullfrog, American toad, and eastern tiger salamander. The American bullfrog is probably one of, if not the worst invasive species, being responsible for the reduction of hundreds of species and spreading disease that kills off native amphibians. The American toad feeds on a variety of insects, such as grasshoppers, crickets, ants, and mealworms, as well as slugs, worms, and spiders. The eastern tiger salamander can grow to about 7 to 8 inches long, with the largest reaching 14 inches long, which makes them larger than the western tiger salamander, so technically the western tiger salamander is not even part of the 5 largest salamanders in the United States. Florida, reticulated siren, American bullfrog, and southern toad. The reticulated siren is a large 24-inch long salamander that relies on their sense of smell to help navigate their surroundings, since their eyesight is pretty terrible. Strangely, American bullfrog legs are packed with essential proteins and amino acids, so they are technically more nutritious than chicken legs. The southern toad can grow to about 4 inches long, which makes them pretty large. However, in Florida there is an invasive population of cane toads that can grow double the size of the southern toads, but they don't count for this list because they are invasive. Georgia, eastern hellbender, American bullfrog, and the southern toad. The eastern hellbender primarily breathes air through their skin, absorbing oxygen from the water, which is a trait many amphibians have. The southern toad can weigh up to 19 grams, making them a moderately sized toad. Hawaii. So Hawaii doesn't have any native amphibians since they are all introduced, and as a result I will be skipping the state. But if you're curious, the largest amphibian in the state would be the cane toad. Idaho. The Idaho giant salamander, the northern leopard frog, and the western toad. The Idaho giant salamander is an endemic species of salamander found in the forests of northern Idaho, which can grow to about 6 inches in length and are the state amphibian of the state. The northern leopard frog gets its name from the spots across their body, which gives them a leopard-like pattern. The western toad can grow to about 5 inches long, and feeds on insects like beetles and grasshoppers, as well as worms. Illinois, eastern hellbender, American bullfrog, and the American toad. The eastern hellbender only has a population of about 361 in the United States, making them vulnerable in the United States. And by the way, this is the point of the video where the information on some of these amphibians, such as the American bullfrog, American toad, and eastern hellbender, will be shrunk, and there probably won't be that as much information on them as other amphibians. Indiana, eastern hellbender, American bullfrog, and the American toad. Iowa, American bullfrog, mud puppy, and the woodhouse toad. The mud puppy is able to live for a long period of time, with a lifespan of nearly 11 years. The woodhouse toad is known to hybridize with the American toad wherever their range overlaps. Kansas, American toad, American bullfrog, and the barred tiger salamander. The barred tiger salamander is a popular amphibian species to keep as a pet, and they're actually a salamander that I hope to own one day when I can afford one. And if you guys want to see me afford a barred tiger salamander and keep it as a pet, I would suggest subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on the video. If you guys want to see me keep a tiger salamander. Kentucky, eastern hellbender, American bullfrog, and the American toad. The eastern hellbender is part of the family Cryptobranchidae, which also contains the Chinese and Japanese giant salamanders, the largest amphibians in the world. Louisiana, two-toed Amphiuma, American bullfrog, and the Gulf Coast toad. The two-toed Amphiuma is a massive species of salamander growing to about 45 inches long, which is as long as a North American beaver. The Gulf Coast toad is mostly found in the Gulf Coast region of the United States, from extreme southern Mississippi to Mexico. Maine, spotted salamander, American bullfrog, and the American toad. The spotted salamander is a type of mole salamander that grows to about 10 inches in length and can be found across the eastern U.S. The reason these salamanders have their spots is to warn predators that they are poisonous. Specifically, they have these spots around their head and tail. Maryland, American toad, American bullfrog, and the eastern hellbender. Massachusetts, spotted salamander, American bullfrog, and the American toad. Strangely, algae and salamander eggs have a sort of symbiotic relationship where the algae is able to grow around the eggs, and in return, the algae produces oxygen for the egg's development. Michigan, American toad, American bullfrog, and the mud puppy. Mud puppies are sometimes used for fishing for flathead catfishes, as well as other predatory fish in the region, or around the south of the United States, or basically just around their range. However, since they are a species of concern, they are rarely used. Minnesota, American bullfrog, Great Plains toad, and mud puppy. The mud puppy spends its life underwater and does not transform into a terrestrial salamander. The Great Plains toad can grow to about 4.5 inches long and is mostly found throughout the Great Plains, which is where the toad gets its name from. Mississippi, American bullfrog, Gulf Coast toad, and the eastern hellbender. The Gulf Coast toad can grow to about 5 inches long, which is pretty big for a toad, and as I mentioned before, they are the closest relatives to the Sonoran desert toad, along with several other toad species found across Central America, Mexico, and the southern U.S. Missouri, Ozark hellbender, woodhouse toad, and the American bullfrog. The woodhouse toad has a subspecies known as the Rocky Mountain toad that ranges from the Rocky Mountains to Missouri, making it the most widespread species out of the other two subspecies. The Ozark hellbender is a couple inches smaller than the eastern hellbender, growing to about 21 inches in total. Alright, so that is the end of part 1 for this video. I was originally going to make the full video with like all the 50 states, but I decided to just split it into 2 because I feel like that would be a lot of work to have all 50 states in one video. So if this video gets to about 5 likes, I'll make the second video, which I'm pretty sure that's not really that hard of a thing to do. I kind of want to make the second one either way, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, if you guys like this video, subscribe, leave a like, and even comment if I missed anything, because I noticed I did a lot of mistakes in this video. And so, if you guys have any recommendations for how I can fix up for part 2, leave them down in the comments below. Otherwise, subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time.